Hello friends, I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. Today I am coming from the heat of Germany to talk about 5 games that I've warmed on. If you saw my video last week, you saw me talk about 5 games that used to be some of my favorite games, and now they've kind of weaned a little bit, and I just don't pull them out as much for the reasons discussed in the video. In this video, I'm going to flip that script and talk about 5 games that I wasn't too fond of the first time I played them, but after playing them again or in a different way or different version, I've warmed on them, and some of them have now reached into my top 50 or even higher than that. So I'm going to talk about these games that I have warmed on in this video in no particular order, just kind of the way they're stacked here next to me. Alright, the first game is a game I played the original version of a while ago, and I did not like it, didn't get it, didn't understand it, and never thought about it again after one play. But then it got a new release version, a little fixer-upper, and I wasn't interested in that either until I watched a solo play video that showed just how thinky and fun it looked, and plus the craziness of the multiple player count. I thought, sure, I'll give it a try. It looks fine enough. I think enough has changed that I picked up Libertalia Wins at Galecrest when Stonemaier kind of redid it, re-upped it, re-envisioned it. And I really enjoy this, and I enjoy it for different reasons at different player counts. The solo mode is outstanding. It's got a great Atoma mode that really feels like you're playing against another player or two, and creates a lot of thinkiness, and is really hard because they always seem to have the one thing that'll counter, and it's just like playing another player. It's great. With 2 players, I haven't only played that one time, and it works well with the third pseudo player, and it kind of gives you a lot of take thatiness and push and pull between the 2 players, and it works. Not my favorite mode, but it works. But 3 to 6 players, that's where this game gets zany. You've got to predict against the whole table. You got to know what everybody kind of has going on, but you're never going to know exactly what everybody's got going on. So it just becomes this crazy game of all kinds of anything can happen unless you're the best planner, I guess, and foreseer of what players are going to do, because there's a good chance what you thought was going to happen just isn't going to happen at the 5 and 6 player count 100%. So it just offers kind of 3 almost different play styles of the same game in one box, depending on your player count, and is fun at all of them. It's one of my favorite solo games to pull off the shelf, but multiplayer, it's also very fun. The second game is a game I got Kickstartered, and when I got it, I just thought I expected more from Kickstarter. It was one of my first Kickstarter games, so I didn't really know what to expect, and I thought it was nice. It was decent. There were some flaws, and I just wasn't as warm on it, and I was still playing Pandemic as my go-to cooperative game. But then I kept playing this and introducing to more and more people, and they've enjoyed it so much that it made me to start to really enjoy it. And then I picked up the expansions, or I had them, but I didn't really ever touch them. So I started touching them and throwing them in for the variety they give. But Terra is now one of my favorite cooperative games. It just feels like you're cave dwelling, going down, avoiding the horrors, and trying to get out before all the bad things happen to you. I really like the multi-faceted play from each of the different characters. They offer their own way of doing things, and sometimes you don't have the best team you thought, but you've got to make it work because you don't have that medic or the bodyguard to protect you from the horrors, and so you just kind of got to race through the dungeon with the abilities of your crew. It's just a lot of fun. It's not too hard to set up and play, and it's got plenty of variability in the deck if you don't set it up the way the rules say. I just kind of shuffle everything in and go with what we get. Some games are harder than others doing it that way. So it's a game we've enjoyed, and we always have a good time playing, and it doesn't take too long. And I've gotten over the fact that the cardboard pieces are hard to see because I've got the initial edition before they kind of lightened up the road to make it a little more clear what the routes are. But I just really enjoyed this. Terra 2 came out pretty recently. I enjoyed that one. So I'm happy with what, unfortunately, Inside the Box Games went out of business, but it's being carried on by, I forget the company now. We'll see if they put out more Subterra games and for me to check out. But I'm really happy with this now after not being so hot on it when it first arrived. All right, the next game is a game you can find basically anywhere. It's weird. It seems to be a game that everybody should play because of the intellectual property attached to it, the fact that it's on the store shelves next to Monopoly and the like of them. But it's such a complex game that the first time I played it, I tried to teach it to my family, and they just could not pick it up, and it made the game go on way too long and not very fun, and that is Disney Villainous. We suffered through a play of it with my family and did not enjoy it and put it back on the shelf and didn't even think about it until my friend Allie at the Family Meeple mentioned that she's been playing it solo. And I didn't know there was a solo mode because there's not. There's a fan-created solo mode. In fact, there's two, and I grabbed the one that she wasn't even talking about at first and played that. I was like, I don't know what the big deal is with this either, and asked her about it. And she pointed me in the direction of the one that kind of feels like there's other people around the table that you're playing against, and that's the version I'm playing now. And it's gotten me to play this game more recently. Added to my 10x5 solo challenge. If you saw my last video, this one's coming up from this quarter, not even quarter, this 4-month stretch. So I've just gotten around to liking this a lot more with the solo mode, and I feel like with the right crowd, I could play it with some real gamers and enjoy it as well. And there's plenty of options for expansions and changes for the Marvel version. What else is there? Star Wars, I think, just came out. So I'm happy to dive back into this series because it's a game I enjoy, whether my family doesn't or not. I've come around to enjoying it and look forward to actually playing it some more now. Villainous, Disney Villainous. All right, the fourth game. I mentioned this in my top 50 that this game, because of the randomness of the game, I've never enjoyed it, but I've gotten better at doing it. More and more I played it, and everybody, my coworkers, they all really like this game, so it's hard for me to not pull it out when they request it, and everybody has a good time with it. I've come around to enjoying it too, despite the fact I'm still not good at it because of the randomness. I've gotten better at building my engine a little bit in Space Base. Inside my top 50, I've always enjoyed what the game had to offer. I really like the simultaneous play, the engine building, the random variability, I guess, of the dice roll, even though I'm bad at it, and the cards, the way they come out. Every game is different. There's expansions to add that I don't own yet that probably add even more to it. So this is always one of those games that while not my style of game, I just enjoy playing it. It's fun. I enjoy the enjoyment that others have when we play, and I've even watched them play it without playing it. So fun game, lots of variability, lots of variety, crazy fun. Space Base, good game. I enjoy it, not as much as or more than I used to, even after getting introduced to it. And finally, a game I got introduced to when I first got in the hobby and didn't think anything of it. I'm still not a players on the map kind of gamer, but the more I've played this over time, I just appreciate, again, the variety of options in this game and the fact it plays so well at every player count because it's got a different map for every player count. The hard part is just teaching not how to play, but what happens with each and every combo of races and abilities that come out. So it's always a learning experience, and that kind of slowed it down a little bit, but I've come around to really like this one. It's easy to teach outside of the random factor that everybody's got to learn anyway as you draft. But yeah, small world. Guys on a map, learning how to take the right time to go into decline and get a new race, and it's good a bit of thinkiness, not a lot of complexity in the play itself, so it makes it easy to put on the table and teach new folks with extra expansions and everything. There's just so much variety without changing the complexity, and that's why Small World, after I've given it a few goes, has really grown on me, and I enjoy pulling it off the shelf and playing it again and again. There's a lot in my box. And there you have it. 5 games I have warmed on. Games that weren't so hot in the first place, but after I got to know them, they've grown on me, some more than others. And yeah, I appreciate them when I didn't at first, and they're great games that I don't mind playing and look forward to playing the next time. If you think there are similar games I might want to check out, let me know in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on some games you've warmed on, games that you didn't like the first time, but now you do. I want to hear about that in the comments below as well. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will check you out next time. Bye.